Good morning. Welcome to my office. This poor old tractor is feeling so lonely and neglected that I thought I'd better come and just spend some time with it. He really misses you. Looks forward to having you back at school. I hope you've had a good weekend. Hope you have had a good rest. Hope you've enjoyed some time with your family. And now that it's Monday, I hope you're ready to work hard again. Mrs Dahl joins us this morning with her next installment of her devotions on Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want.
Happy Monday! I hope you guys had an awesome weekend. I'm sure it was great to just have 2 days where you didn't have to do any schoolwork. Well, it's our second full week of distance learning, and we've heard that you guys are doing really, really well. So keep that up. The teachers are so proud of you. Well done. You will notice that I'm sitting at a table today. You might say, ma'am, where's the food and where are your friends? I know it does seem pretty sad that there's no food or no friends. Do you remember what we chatted about on Friday morning? About the valley of the shadow of death? Okay, this table and this feast, with lack of food, but you get what I mean, is a completely different picture to Friday's deep dark valley. Okay, so we are chatting about verse 5 today, and I'm going to try and explain it as best as I can. So David says, thinking back of his time as a shepherd, "You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies." We later learn in the Bible that after David is anointed as king, Saul, who was the present king, was extremely jealous of David, and he tried a few times to kill David because David was a threat to him as king and to his kingdom. And another thing is that back in Old Testament times, and there are even wars that are happening as I speak today in the world. You might have watched a movie or seen a documentary about World War II or other wars that have been fought in the world. War is a terrible thing. And like I said, in the Old Testament, countries would war against each other, nations would war against each other, certain tribes or clans would war against each other. And times of war were difficult. And if you can imagine that the people that you are warring against or that your country is at war with, those are your enemies. And verse 5 speaks about the good shepherd preparing a table before me in the presence of my enemies. And I kind of got this picture of David sitting down to an amazing feast when around him his enemies are wanting to kill him, or where another country is against the country of Israel and is wanting to defeat them in battle. And yet he says that his good shepherd prepares a table before him in the presence of his enemies, which speaks of a place of absolute rest and security, and actually being able to just sit down and enjoy a feast without worrying about what is out there. And I sincerely hope that none of you have any enemies. The Bible tells us that we need to love our enemies and pray for those who hurt us. But perhaps you do know of someone who doesn't like you, and that's not always easy. But God's called us to love others, to love our neighbor as we love ourselves. And then it carries on. It says, "You anoint my head with oil." And I've got a little bit of olive oil in this jar. And in the Old Testament, there were many occasions where they anointed people's heads with oil. And like I said before, when David was just a shepherd boy, Samuel, the prophet, anointed his head with oil. And when you anointed someone's head with oil, it was a sign of honor, it was a sign of respect, it was a sign of being set apart, of being special. And oil was something that was in abundance when the harvest was good. And David is saying of our Good Shepherd that he anoints our head with oil, that he honors us at this feast that we're having, which is absolutely amazing because we are so not worthy of any of this honor or respect. And then the last part says, my cup runs over. Okay. And I'm going to do it here over the floor. But I've got water here. I'm sure at a real feast you've had something much more interesting than water. But the Good Shepherd says that he will fill your cup to overflowing. And to me, that just speaks about the Good Shepherd's abundance for us. And remember when we chatted about verse 1 and it says that I shall not want, and I explained to you that that means that God gives us everything that we need. Remember, it wasn't everything we want, it was everything that he knows we need that is best for us. And what he does for us as his children is that he fills our cups to overflowing. He doesn't give you just a tiny little bit. He gives you more than what you need. Your cup overflows. Okay, this was a little bit of an interesting kind of abstract verse today, for want of a better word. But I want you to remember your Good Shepherd, who prepares a table for you in the presence of your enemies, which means that you can be completely at rest, not anxious at all about the enemy out there. Okay, there's that protection again that we spoke about. We can thank him that he honors us. He anoints our head with oil. He's showing us honor that we don't deserve, because he is our great King and our great God, and he is the perfect one, and yet he honors us. And then he gives us more than what we need. Our cups overflow with abundance. And that's not talking about we'll have all the money in the world and we'll be healthy always and wealthy always. No, it doesn't speak about that. It's speaking about God giving us spiritual blessing, the things that we need in our lives, that he knows that we need, the things of him that are good for us. Okay, it was lovely chatting to you again. I'm actually feeling quite hungry now. I think I'm going to have something to eat. But we'll chat again on Wednesday. On Wednesday we discuss our last verse for this psalm. Have an awesome day, guys. It was great being with you again. Bye.
Thank you to Mrs Dahl for that devotion. Remember that you were going to send me videos of you dancing to the song that I put up last Thursday. So I'm really looking forward to receiving a couple of those, and I want to try and put them together into some kind of a video. I hope you have a good week. It's Monday, so we've got 5 days to go. Work hard.